YouTube. I am going to do a review on a book that I just got. I posted a video with me. I was so excited with the video that I'm going to try to do another video. And this is the review for the Vogue sewing book. Now, this book I got from Amazon. It's a used book, but it was in such, I didn't know it would be in such great condition. It was only $4.44. And with $3.99 shipping, I got it for $8.44. So I was like, I'll take a chance on it. And it is in wonderful condition. Has its own little case. And the book is in wonderful condition. And I started getting vintage sewing books because I forgot her name, but I have to remember her name because I do talk about, I call her name quite often, but anyway, she does review on vintage books, and she said a vintage book has more information in it than a book nowadays, because people, this was their only means of gaining information was through this, which is true. So it's more of a textbook, more of a how-to, and a if you have a problem, you go to the book and you see what your problem is, and you know, that's how you would solve it back then. So this is from the 1970s, and it is so clean. John, I think he's a seller book. John, 3rd chapter, 16 verse books. And the contents of this book it's in 4 different books. Book 1, The Fashion Game, Fashion Sewing as an Art Form, Your Figure Analysis, The Wonderful World of Fabrics, The Language of Fabrics, The Undercover Story, Notions, Indispensable Sewing Accessory. Then there's Book 2, Your Pattern Profile, Introducing Pattern Prospectus, Your Perfect Sewing Tools, and then Book 3, Creating Fashion for the Individualist, Your Complete Sewing Handbook, The Simple Truth About Impeccable Tailoring, The Added Elegance of Fur, The Custom Touch, Couture Techniques, Trim, The Mark of Creative Seamstress, and Book 4 is The Niceties and Necessities, Planning a Creative Environment, Tools to Satisfy Every Sewing Need, The Vocabulary of Fashion. Then you have the index, and you have a list of color palettes. And what I like about this book is they have little charts. This will tell you what neckline is, what neckline and collar and skirt is flattering for your figure, depending on what you have. You have every heavy arms, if you have large bosom, but you know, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, because what's acceptable in the 1970s, you know, what was not acceptable then is kind of acceptable. I mean, kind of, so I kind of like that. And then you have different fabrics, because I really would like to read up on different fabrics and know what they are, and how to do spot removals, needles, guide to underlining, interfacing, lining. This book is 412 pages long. Yeah, they have different fabrics here according to alphabetical order. Then they have a diagram. I love the diagrams, so I think I'm more of a visual learning, because I love anything with diagrams, with different colors. And I like that it's not in color, because you can see, to me, you can see more detail. I mean, the lines and stuff. And it tells you how to read a pattern, flat pattern adjustments. An adjustment is, this is what I found out in reading one of my vintage books. An adjustment is something you make on a pattern, and a what's the other one? Let me see if I can remember. An adjustment is something you make on a pattern, and an alteration is something you make on the actual garment. I can never remember that. Lengthening shoulders, but a lot of patterns now have spots, places where you can lengthen and shorten and do things like that. I don't see too many where you can enlarge, but or take in. But this type of will tell you. It'll tell you about sleeve. Now this, I like this. See how that sleeve? And they tell you what's an improper distribution of ease. I mean, why? You shouldn't do it like that, because it's going to be Z. You do A, B is going to happen. B is going to happen. Sometimes when you make an adjustment to your clothes, when you make an adjustment here, sometimes it affects here, it affects there. It just, so I know when I make adjustments, I try not to make it too high because of the armhole. I try to take any adjustment off here because of the neckline. Certain spots, yeah, but it's, I mean, we can always get better on adjustments. Oh, I'm sorry. You're there, YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it's a very, I can't wait to start reading this book. And it has lots of pictures. I'm going to go, before I post this video, I'm going to see what John has, just in case somebody picks up, you know. I'm going to check his books, his song books. I'm getting ready to Google and search now, because I have about 4 or 5, but not in this condition, and not, I don't think, well, you know, I have a book, Couture Sewing Facts by Roxanne. I think she has one name. McDonough, but she's a little snobbish, but I think she knows what she's doing. You can, but I think the book was 1960s, so she has that 1960s, you know, personality. She wouldn't be cutting no fabric on no rug or no bed or no floor. She got all her accoutrements. So okay, bye bye, YouTube.